Yay!
Hello everyone, welcome to tonight's showing of Son of the White Mare, and how about that trailer?
Yeah!
Okay, this is the second showing of the Cartoon Underground series. I'm Zane Kordich, I curated the series, and I was hoping to highlight some weird, trippy, transgressive, weird underground cartoons. And I think Son of the White Mare certainly fits that category. This is a Hungarian film from 1981, directed by Marcel Yankovic, and he's a very interesting figure. He was basically the premier auteur animator from Hungary. He made Hungary's first feature-length animated film, Johnny Cornpal, before this. This is basically like the second one. And he also has a number of acclaimed animated shorts, including one that was nominated for an Oscar called Sisyphus. That's really interesting. And he also, I think he animated a third of this movie himself, by hand, which is crazy. He had a hard time getting this movie made. This movie was made, his initial idea for it was called something like The Sun Tree or something like that, that was about this idea he was interested in, where time is cyclical and things end where they begin. But Hungary was run by a communist government at the time, and under Marxist doctrine, they say that time is straight. It's a straight line of progress. And so they squashed his idea. He made this instead. But what's interesting about this movie is you'll see a lot of allusions to seasons, cycles, circles, things going around. And so he was sneaking in his little ideas wherever he could. And this was they would have to, there was a really small animation team, and they would paint on imported cells and really cheap paints that would barely adhere to one another. And so Yankovic would tell stories about how he would come back and all the animators would just be sobbing because they lost hundreds of frames and days of work. And yet they just kept marching on, and now we have this movie that is remarkably cohesive for what it was made under. To give you an idea of the budget for this movie, I'll give two examples of movies released the same year. Okay, there's The Fox and the Hound by Disney, $12 million budget USD at the time.
Wow.
Then you have Heavy Metal, the first showing of this series, kind of more independent, smaller production, $9 million. Okay, so 12 million, 9 million, and then you have Son of the White Mare, made for $400,000.
Oh, wow.
So that's 1/30th of A Fox and the Hound, and yet this movie exists, and it's crazy. And that's kind of why it's this huge success story. It was released to kind of mixed reception in Hungary. Not a lot of people knew what to make of it. And then it kind of languished in obscurity until it was picked up by the internet, and people being like, whoa, this is the trippiest, weirdest movie ever, dude. And it's interesting because, it's known for being this druggy, Yellow Submarine-esque, psychedelic movie. And Yankovic, that wasn't his idea. I doubt with a $400,000 budget, they could even afford acid, So he based the idea of the imagery of the movie, the surrealness of it, off his dreams. And the weird voice acting in the movie, which you might notice, is very unconventional. It was because he was trying to emulate the way this folklore story was told to him by his grandparents and parents. So it has this kind of whispered bedtime story feel to it, which is really interesting. And Yankovic had this really high art concept for his animations. He wanted to translate Eisenstein's montage theory to animation. So he was really trying to push stuff forward. And that's kind of why he's become this big cult figure. And weirdly enough, he was picked up later on to work on Disney's The Emperor's New Groove in 2000. Marcel Yankovic, director of Son of the White Mare, is credited on Emperor's New Groove, which I think is so funny. And apparently what he was trying to do with that movie, he was supposed to do this intro showing all this kind of Aztec and Mesopotamian sort of folklore stuff behind the movie. And then Disney was like, we do not care, and then they just nixed it. And then the movie, which Emperor's New Groove rocks, that movie's hilarious, but Yankovic had kind of a grudge against that production then on. It's kind of funny, but he did a bunch of other fantastic films after this. They were so striking and cool, and he kind of has this weird your favorite animator's favorite animator status because of just how committed he is to his stuff. And it's just cool because animation takes a lot of money, a lot of effort, and so it'd be hard to get something really weird and experimental out, but Yankovic did it. And if you want another example of that, next week, same time, Thursday, 9:30 p.m., We Are the Strange. It's one of the weirdest, most beautiful films I've ever seen. If you can make it, please make it. The director himself sent me a copy for this screening, so it's going to be really cool. And yeah, you gotta support some underground animation. And then the last screening for the series will be next Saturday, and it will be a weird Fleischer Studios retrospective. So a bunch of Betty Boop and Popeye and really weird 1930s stuff you wouldn't expect to be as creative and interesting as it is. And so, yeah, with that, I'll turn it over to Son of the White Mare. $400,000 movie. I hope you guys enjoy.
Yay!